I'd like to welcome back to Art in the Air Spotlight. She's been with us many times before from the Family Folklore Foundation. And of course, we were still talking about the 1933 World's Fairy Tales. And Dr. Meg DeMakas is going to read a little sample for us later on in the interview. But welcome back. And she's going to be doing a reading Saturday, April 19th at the Crown Point Main Library, downtown Crown Point. So you can hear her actually read that, and we'll have a sample here. Meg, welcome back to Art in the Air Spotlight.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it's always great to see you, Meg.
Good to see you, too.
So this is really, you're continuing this project. Of course, you had the thing at IUN where you used the tents to represent the houses and things like that. So now you're going to go out and spread the word about the fair and everything. So tell us a little about what people can expect at this reading.
Well, I am going to read passages, but I also have a PowerPoint presentation when I go through the presentation that we gave at IUN. And then I also have a short documentary. It's about 3 minutes long that goes along with it.
Oh, excellent. How long have you been working on this project? I know we may have covered that before in some of our interviews, but you've been kind of working this. I know it's I think your brother that kind of set the thing, and you decided to kind of pick up the ball and remember that. Tell us a little bit about the history of that.
Yeah, in the 90s, my brother Dan Grandfield, who's a landscape architect, he was always wondering about how those houses made it over to Beverly Shores, and so he did a study on it and put a report together for the Indiana Historical Society. And then he passed away. And so I found his work, and I'm like, oh, well, let's continue this. And so that's what we did. We got some grant money from the Indiana Historical Society and the Humanities and South Shore Arts. And so that financed us doing a couple of things like going through the houses. And we also took a boat ride to see what it was like to come over. The houses came over on a barge. And they were pushed by a tugboat that was powered by steam. So we rode one of the steamboats that they have at Cedar Lake. And we also rode on a vessel in Lake Michigan to see what it was like to be out there on the sea. And then we had everybody learn how to paint. So they painted their version of the houses, and then I had them write about what it would be like to be one of those houses. So that's what we did. And then since a lot of the materials we got were actually guidebooks from the fair, I decided to make a guidebook of our project. The Millennia of Progress, 1933 to 2023, World's Fairy Tales, If Houses Could Talk.
And that's available where, by the way?
You can get it on Amazon, but I also have it at local bookstores, at the Munster Performing Arts, in Beverly Shores, at I think it's called The Press. It's in Valpo. Yeah, I have it in quite a few places. Yeah. So, and I've given a talk already at the Rotary Club in Crown Point, and the president of that society was also like the director of the Crown Point Library. And she suggested that I come over and talk there too. So I'm going to.
So the Crown Point talk is to just make more people aware of it, or are you looking for more funding?
No, not more funding, just to get the word out. That's one of the missions of Family Folklore. We offer educational experiences to people of all ages, to go out into the community and research and learn. And then we also want to share it with other people. So, we just have an ever broadening effect.
Well, maybe take us a quick sample of what they can expect at the reading.
Okay. The book, which has that big title, Millennia of Progress, is a companion book that World Fair buffs will love. Dr. Meg Grandfield DeMakas, primary author and editor, is the Family Folklore Foundation CEO. The mission of the nonprofit is to offer learning experiences via field expositions, research, and interviews to people of all ages. The study is the 1933 Chicago World's Fair and the relocation of the Century Progress homes to Beverly Shores, Indiana. The centerpiece of the study was the multimedia presentation on April 19th at the Main Stage Theater at IUN. And then there's also a documentary that will be shown on April 19th over at the Crown Point Main Library at between 1 and 2. They have a lot of nice rooms there, with full media possibilities.
Oh, very good. So, and of course, this is a free admission, I presume.
Yes, free admission is right. And I hope that lots of people will come. Many years ago, I'd say about 10 years ago, I did a presentation about Jean Stratton Porter, who was an Indiana author and photographer she was born around the Civil War. And then she passed away in the 20s. And there was standing room only. There was a lot of people that were interested in the Girl of the Limberlost. That was one of her books. Yeah, so I expect a lot of people.
And you have another project. Very quickly, tell us about that in just the last few seconds here, and then once again, the dates.
Well, Once Upon a Time in Maggie's Key West is kind of a springboard from the study, especially the Florida house. My grandparents retired to Homestead, Florida, and our family of 8, when I was a little girl, used to go down there and visit, and so I've written a children's book about that.
We appreciate you coming on Art on the Air Spotlight. Again, Meg DeMakas will be at the Crown Point Main Library downtown, April 19th, 1 to 2 p.m., and you can hear readings and a PowerPoint presentation. Meg, thank you so much for coming on Art on the Air Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Meg.
Art on the Air is supported by an Indiana Arts Commission Arts Project Grant, South Shore Arts, and the National Endowment for the Arts. Art on the Air Spotlight and the complete 1-hour program on Lakeshore Public Media is brought to you by McCauley Real Estate in Valparaiso, Olga Patrician, Senior Broker.